This is our Lamb. This is God's firstborn Son, given to man, offered as oblation. This is our Lamb.
I think sometimes we need to realize that home is really not a destination. It's a feeling. It's a sense of belonging, and it's a sense of comfort. And it is part of our journey, and this Lenten journey that we're on. We begin to find the places that are our home. You know, as we begin to shed some of the things that we have built up that we maybe don't long about ourselves, or that we create a relationship with God that makes us feel closer to Him, we begin to feel home. And I had a really great moment with my son one time. He was about 9 years old at the time, and we were in the car, and he said, "You know, Dad, I have something to tell you. Can you turn down the radio?" Now, when you turn down the radio in our car, it's kind of a big deal. So I obliged, and he said, "You know, Dad, I just wanted to tell you that I really feel that God's love is like a tornado. And I say that because you can never outrun it." Well, I kind of had to do like a double take and look back and make sure that it was my son that was still in the back seat, because the alien child that had been dropped into the back was more profound than the speaker guy sitting in front of you. But it's true, you know, that God is always chasing after us. And the prodigal son story today was no different. He couldn't outrun his father's love. He tried to outrun him in a way that was fulfilling his life with things that didn't make him happy. But ultimately, he needed to return back home. He needed a victory in his life, that when the world was beating him up, he needed that place that he could go to, and that he could be forgiven, and that he could just be himself and be loved for who he was. And that is what home is. And part of our beauty in Lent is finding that home. So often we are the ones that shun ourselves from people who long to love us. I go back to those scenes of the Phantom of the Opera. You know, the Phantom of the Opera, he wasn't someone that was a monster throughout his entire being. It was only a portion of him that was disfigured. It was only a portion of him that was scarred. And he created a persona of himself behind the mask that was the monster that people perceived. And he lost home because he lived a lifestyle that made him shunned by others. So I think when we want forgiveness, or when we feel that there's something wrong with us that's broken, we don't feel worthy to be loved, and we begin to isolate ourselves from others. And when it comes time for us to offer forgiveness, it's in those moments that we find that we really act more human than we want to be, because we can't forget. We can't allow the pain to be released. And there's no way for full reconciliation to be given, because we continue to hold on to what has hurt us. But if you take the hurt, if you take your faith, and you ask God and Christ to intervene, and allow the Spirit to fill your heart, and beg for true forgiveness, not only for you, but for those who hurt you, then you experience home in your heart. You know that the journey that you are on is leading to a place that offers you nothing that this earth can provide. It is a relationship with a God who loves you no matter what, who wants nothing more than to heal you and to hold you in His arms, and to look at you and accept you for all your brokenness, accept you for all your victories, and accept you for you. So as you journey this week, just know that the beauty of Lent is that we are forgiven by a God who loves us no matter what, and we can return that favor to someone who desires our forgiveness.
Holy